there be, that 12 to 18-month window where there would be increased traffic. And, beyond that, it's very minimal. So
Traffic from which road?
it would come in Burton and then go up Stegall.
Stegall, okay.
Stegall, yeah.
Okay. Any questions? No? Thank you, ma'am. Any comments? Mr.
Questions for the
Little?
staff in regards to the applicant and the ordinance. In regards to the boundaries around it, what's the buffer zone in our ordinance for this?
50 foot.
It's, when we wrote the ordinance, as y'all recall, we had another case that required us to write an ordinance. And we did in that ordinance include buffers. 50 foot is the buffer requirement. And basically, they have demonstrated in their application that they're meeting those minimum requirements. And so, yes, it's an extensive amount of information that's required as part of the solar farm type applications that they have to meet.
And if I remember right, we put an elevation, a height of the panels of
15, if I
15
remember
feet?
correctly.
Okay.
So I remember that was one of the things that it was 25.
It was
We
25, then we reduced it down.
Reduced it to 15, and as long as, the gentleman's concerned about seeing it, as long as the land's pretty flat, you have your buffer around it.
Yeah, this is a flat piece of property. And with the natural vegetation and the way that they're actually placing the panels so that it very minimum amount of vegetation would be removed. So to be honest, it's not going to be seen by many people, other than the
And
people
I would
working
like to
there.
comment.
Unless you
that
want to go see it.
That's right.
Looking where this property is versus some of the others that have come up, it's really in the middle of no one. I know Mr. Leonard, and there's 2 or 3 to the north, but, they're sitting on 400, 600 acres of land, so I think there's some buffer there. The people to the west are basically the same way. So, you're sitting with trees around it, woods around it. To me, this is a very good type of location for this type of apparatus to be put in the parish. And I'm thinking mentioning the taxes, there'll be some revenue on taxes being brought in. I'm not sure what this project's gonna be, but it's bound to be somewhere around $200 million, $150 million. So there'll be a lot of construction and taxes being brought into the parish.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? There being none, Ms. Christie, roll call vote?
Mr. DeBrock?
Yes.
Ms. Hyatt?
Yes.
Mr. Little?
Yes?
Mr. Forshey?
Yes.
Mr. Benson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Whitey?
Yes.
Ms. Dickerson?
Yes.
And Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
9 for.
The motion passes. Item 7C, take appropriate action on the following application. 2973 Ricky Lane in Ward 3, exception to allow residential development, manufactured home. Applicant Larry James Spell, this is case EX-0623-0176. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions. Motion by Ms.
Second.
Dickerson, second by Ms. Hyatt. Ms. Tunn.
Properties in South Lake Charles off Carbina Road at 2973 Ricky Lane. The applicant intends to place a manufactured home on the property as a permanent dwelling for his niece. The parish code requires an exception by the board to allow a manufactured home within a single-family residential zoning district. Because the proposed development is consistent with the character of the area, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development, and that the manufactured home be skirted prior to utilities being connected.
Thank you, Ms. Tunn. Does the applicant have anything to add to this presentation? Okay. Any questions, comments by the board? There being none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There being none, the motion carries. Item 7D, take appropriate action on the following application, 1152 Bud Bennett Road in Ward 6, exception to allow a 10-year extension of an existing borrow pit. The applicant is Jason Gunner, Edux. This is case EX-0623-0177. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions. Motion by Ms. Dickerson, second by Mr. Dubrock. Ms. Dunn.
Property is located between Edgerly and DeQuincy at 1152 Bud Bennett Road. In 2016, the applicant received approval to excavate a 15-acre borrow pit with the condition that the excavation be completed within 3 years. At this time, the applicant is requesting a time extension of 10 years in order to complete the pit. Because minimal impacts are to be expected, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development. 2, that any deviation exceeding the submitted application will require another review by the Division of Engineering. And 3, that the haul route must comply with the approved route by the Division of Engineering as per the road damage bond. A copy of the road damage bond is in your, on your tablet, showing that they paid their bond and that it has been approved.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Does the applicant have anything to add to this presentation?
He's not here.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? There being none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There being none, the motion carries. Item 8A, take appropriate action on the following application, 700 block of Highway 108 East in Ward 4, rezoned from mixed residential R2 to light industrial I1 to allow industrial development, contractor's office, shop, and storage yard. The applicant is Carl Hardy, Edux. This is case RZ-0523-0248. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions. Motion by Ms. Dickerson, second by Ms. Winey. Ms. Dunn.
This property is in Carlos. The applicant intends to construct a 1,500 square foot building for a contractor's office, shop, and storage yard. Should the board grant the request, the applicant intends to lease the building. Because the proposed zoning is consistent with the character of the immediate area, the staff recommends that the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development, and that permitting is subject to approval of the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Does the applicant have anything to add to this presentation? If here. Any questions, comments by the board? There being none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There being none, the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to advise that the police jury took the following action on June 22nd, 2023, with reference to the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board from the June 20th, 2023 meeting. Open A1 Ranch, Wardline Road, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. Next item on the agenda is to advise that the next regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning meeting will be held on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Ms. Winey. We are adjourned.
Good job.
Good.